off on an adventure. Just taking the Merlot back to the other farm. It tops out down here at about 25k, which feels incredibly fast in this little machine. Just come across this load of sheep here in the road. I'm not entirely sure where they're supposed to be. I think they're supposed to be in there, our neighbours, but I just stopped here. I'll shut this gate. Not that that'll stop them, because this gate doesn't really apps to anything. But hopefully I've deterred them back that way. There is sheep fencing up around this field, so go on, go and find your home. Anyway, back to this weapon. Right, back home in the calf shed now. Just put out the cake for all the calves this morning. Nice to see them all up eating, looking happy. These guys have got plenty of food, but the rest of them will need a mix doing at some point today, so we'll sort that out later on. We got the aftermath of clearing out the dung from yesterday, so John will pick all this up this morning when he does his rounds with the bucket. I'm going to go in this shed, shut all the animals back, and we'll get on and do the scraping and start our morning routine here. Just finished up with the scraping. John's running around picking up dung at the moment in the Manitou. Hopefully that tractor will be getting fixed today. I don't know that for sure. We'll jump on the straw chopper and start throwing some straw around. Now normally I'd say don't ever go in one of these, but it's only me and John here, and I don't want that sitting on the rotor when I start it up next time, because it'll bust a shear bolt. There is the man himself with a bale. Textbook. Find where the knots are, cut the strings. Now we always tend to load the bales into the straw chopper. I know a lot of people back into them, Joe Seals for example. We did used to try backing into them. We ended up busting a few bales, I guess because we're not doing it all the time. We busted these as well. If we were going to do that, you'd actually take that frame off and then you'd just be left with like a scoop, which you can do. We carry the straw quite a long way to each shed, so it is handy having this frame here to stop it all falling out the back. And also, we've got a spare loader here 99% of the time. If you're on your own, you've got the telehandler here. It makes sense just to load them. You can be a bit more gentle about how you put them in the machine. But everyone does it differently. That's just the way we do it. Up in the top shed, just throwing the straw about. You can see how mucky they get overnight. Now we're not at all shy about the amount of straw we chuck round either. We chuck a lot of straw out every morning. They still get fairly mucky every day. But we do stock the sheds probably close to their limit. But we've got a lot of cows, so we've got to put them all somewhere. Anyway, they're all chilled out, just waiting for their breakfast. John is just around the corner there, feeding the other side of the shed at the moment. He'll soon be around here. We're double teaming the yard work, and then hopefully we'll get on to vaccinating some more cows today. I think John wants to get that done before we go off for Christmas. I say we go off for Christmas, there's always two of us here. Every day over Christmas, I think me and John and Rex are doing the bulk of the work this year. So we just come in every day, bed up, feed up, scrape all the passageways, make sure everything's all right, check all the sheep that are outside. And they should be, they're not doing anything this time of year, but yeah, the work still has to be done. Right, I've bedded this side up. John's just alongside doing the feeding. So we always feed this shed whilst the cows are shut back, just because when they have their heads out through, you end up chucking the food on their head, or they end up butting it away and it all ends up on the floor the other side. So we always try and feed this shed first, so we have them shut back for the minimal amount of time. Now that John's feeding this shed, I'll go back and get one more bale of straw. I'll bed up the other side, and as soon as I've bedded up, I'll open up the shed so they can feed. Are you hungry, cow? You can come out and have your breakfast. So John's back up with the heifers mix. They get slightly different food because they are still growing, as well as trying to grow a calf, whereas these big old cows, they're just growing a calf. I don't want them getting fat. Wading through straw, look. Oh, look who's coming. It's Paolo's mum. You all know Paolo the calf? Well, that is Paolo's mum. Where are you off to, Kel? So that is this shed now fed. John will do the feeding down the bottom shed. I'll go and let them all out. Some of these girls just can't be bothered to move this morning, look. Now the downside to using so much straw is obviously it builds up in the shed very quickly. So after New Year, what's the date today? It's the 20th of December. You'll see this after Christmas, but give it 2 more weeks when we're back after Christmas and New Year is out the way. One of the first jobs we'll do is to hoik all the dung out of this shed and start again. Generally speaking, we clean it out once midway through the winter, and then that's all right. Then it will then last till turn out. Once we start calving, as long as the weather's all right, we'll sort of calve and chuck cows out. The first few that are born end of February or beginning of February, whenever they start, we'll obviously have to stay in for a little bit. But when you get to March and middle of March, if the weather's nice, once they've calved and spent a couple of days inside to bond, get them outside. Best place they can be. But yeah, anyway, we'll finish the yard work and then we'll see what the rest of the day has in store. I'm currently up on our way ground, checking the sheep. I'm trying to call them through from this field into this one. But sheep being sheep, oh, they are coming this way now. They immediately started running the other direction a minute ago. Hopefully they're going to come through here. I'm not sure how many there are. I have to walk around the field. But they are as far away from the road as possible. And you cannot drive on this. You just sink in the truck. So, yeah, hopefully they'll come through the gate. Come on, sheeps. They seem to have split themselves into one massive mob down there. And then these few odd ones here. So I'm hoping these will just catch up a minute and then we'll let them all through together. As I say that, these lot are going to bugger off the wrong way. Go on! Go on! Go on! Just trying to get some jobs done now before we all break up for Christmas. So we'll take this feed over to the other farm. That's wheat distillers in there. And that is some sugar beet. And that'll keep us going for the rations over the next fortnight or so. We can push in whilst we're over there as well. So 2 jobs, 1 stone. So I've just used the little e-worker to unload the wheat distillers and the sugar beet. So it all lives in here. See, I've got the 2 out the front that we've been using. Move them out of the way and put the double stack ones in the back. So that's all ready now for the next couple of weeks. We're going to be running tight on barley in the other store as well. We'll need some of that first couple of days back in January. I'm just going to push in all the food now for the cows in a minute. Go and take the pallet forks off, put the bucket back on, ready for the morning. The little Merlot at Rowland has actually been really handy because we can use it for loading up the barley and all the other stuff we need the bucket for. It means we haven't got to take the grab off, and also it means we've got a set of pallet forks over here because we haven't got a set of pallet. We've only got 1 set of forks for the tractor and the handler, and they live back at home. So if you ever want to do anything over here, you've got to bring them over on the trailer or on the telehandler or something, which is a complete pain. So it's definitely something we need to sort out. We need to get another set of forks. Hopefully we'll make that happen in the new year. Anyway, just going to do some pushing in. Right, all pushed in. I've just been a bit helpful for tomorrow's Josh and set some bales out that I'll need for bedding up. Now you might wonder why I've parked at such a funny angle under the shed, but our roof here on the Fergie has a bit of a crack in it. I don't know if I can get up high enough to show you. Can you see that line there? So the fiberglass on the roof is cracked. I think it's done exactly the same the other side in the same place. So it's not keeping every bit of water out. So we try and park it under the roof as much as we can. We can stick it in the silage pits, but the green tractor's in there as well as the Merlot at the minute. But yeah, I'm just going to cut the strings on these bales and they're ready for the morning. Everything's pushed in. Once I've shut the animals back in the morning, whatever's left I'll push in again. So I'll leave that on the machine for now. That'll be handy. And yeah, then we'll be done over here. Just got to load up me sides on me trailer, turn off the lights and go. Now this is one of those jobs that gets forgotten about a lot, but is actually very, very important. Is pushing in the feed for the cattle. By pushing in the feed, you actually encourage the cows to come up and eat because they think they're getting fed something different. Therefore, the more you come and push the food in for them, the more they come and eat. Especially with your fat stock and your growing stock, the more they'll grow and gain some weight, which is obviously what we want them to do. We always do it first thing and last thing. But it's always one of those jobs, if you've got time to do it at some point during the day as well, it is well worth doing it, because see, every animal is now up at the feed fence thinking they're getting fed something new, which is good. And especially with the guys the other side, I know you can't see because it's dark, they end up nuzzling their food away from them, trying to sort it out, trying to get the wheat out, and they end up with just a clean bit of concrete in front of them, which is no good. So I just push in the food in this shed. I've just pushed in that shed. I got to feed some food out for them that is currently in the wagon. John mixed it up earlier, so we'll do that in a minute. But this is what you get, this effect, look. So the cows have eaten everything in front of them, so they want that bit there. So you've got to come and push it in for them, keep them going overnight. So I'm back home now. We got wrapped up at the farm, and that is actually the site now closed down for Christmas. So as I'm filming this, it's the 20th of December. I know you guys will be seeing this a little bit after Christmas, but I just wanted to explain. So when I say the site shuts down, obviously the farm doesn't. The farm carries on every single day of the year, as does every other farm across the UK. There will always be 2 of us on site, just because there's quite a lot of work still to do every day, and also it avoids us having to be lone working. So every day we're still bedding, feeding, scraping, like I was saying in the video earlier. What we aren't doing is getting on with jobs such as vaccinating cattle, weighing, doing any of those sorts of things. It's just literally go in, animal welfare, bosh, done, and then go home, and then somebody goes back in the night to push in and just make sure everything's all right, because as much as we want the time off over Christmas, you know, the cattle and the sheep and the cattle come first. So I just wanted to explain that. So me and Gus are here currently editing a video. You can see how enthused he is about the job. I think, in fact, the cat's actually more excited about it than the dog is. Hank. So I just want to say a big thank you to everyone for all the support in 2023. 2024 is going to be an incredible year, I know already. If you haven't already seen the teaser video for what me and Dr. Phil have got planned, then it will be up soon. I can't quite remember when I was going to put it up and when this is coming out. It's too much going on in my head. But there'll be a teaser video coming soon explaining everything that's going on and how we're going to go about it. So look out for that. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I know a lot of you that watch regularly are subscribed, but if you're new, do think about subscribing. It's completely free, doesn't cost you anything, helps me out loads. Give the video a thumbs up. Check out all the links down in the description, and we'll see you guys on another video very soon. Cheerio.